up, YouTube? We are back with another video. This week's a little chaotic. Both of my cars need some work. Today we are going to install the striker light, non-RGB rear reflectors, or at least try to. And then later on in the week, we need to put new lowering springs on the S550. I don't know if you'll be able to hear it, but they are clunking pretty bad, and I'll put a video up on the screen. One of them is like stuck at the moment and real tight, and then the other one is rattling and loose because on the front I have Ibach, I think they're sport lines, and then on the back is a non-matching set from a coilover kit apparently. It was on the car when I got it, and it's pretty annoying. So I have the Steeda Progressive lowering springs ordered. They should be here Friday. And then it looks like the Fox body alternator gave out on me. So we will test that later and see if I have one laying around, or if some of my friends have one laying around. If not, we'll be ordering one off of LMR and we will get that done. So right now I'm fixing to head over to my buddy's house and we'll detail the car and work on the rear reflectors. So house. We're gonna move cars around and we're gonna get to it.
I guess it wasn't even locked.
So we're gonna pop this bolt out. I got him working on it because that's what friends are for, free labor. And then we gotta pop this clip out under here, which sucks to get to, and my sausage fingers can't get in there, so that's what he's for. So we got the child working on it. Okay, so we popped out 4 bolts above the reverse light, and it gives you more room to be able to bend it so you can actually get to it. So you got this screw here, and I don't know if it'll focus. We should cut this off, to be honest, because if you look at the striker lights, it's not even threaded on this one. So we got some double-sided tape we're gonna stick on here, and we'll just clip them in there. Alright, so we got a little piece of tape on here. We're not going to use that clip. We're just going to use that clip and tape and put them in. So there's a little before and after. Alright, we got tape on the second one. He's putting the bolts back in for the rear diffuser. And we're going to slap these on and show you the result. So, we got the rear reflectors all done. Looks pretty good. Got all the chrome fixing to go away. That was a secret. Wasn't supposed to tell you that yet. But all the red's gone. Rear reflectors gone. Side markers. Tail lights. So. I can't take my key on the table over here. Got the Ford charm going on. Oh, we gotta restart this clip. Alright, we're not detailing the car today, but we're going to do a quick little wash on it. So we just got the rear reflectors on the car, and then we got the car washed. hopefully Friday we have my order from CJ Pony Parts coming in, and we can get the issues fixed. I'll post a video up on the screen of the springs and what's going on right now. But hopefully you heard the rattle earlier, so that's what that's to address. And hopefully it's more drivable with progressive lowering springs. So we're fixing to go test the Fox body and see if the alternator's bad or what's going on with that one. So stay tuned. Okay, I do a bad job of filming, but we're doing the lowering springs today. I just loosened all the lug nuts. We're fixing to get the car in the air. We have the Steeda Progressive springs that we'll be putting on today. Okay, so you lower the subframe bracket. There's 2 bolts here. You got 1 long bolt that holds the subframe in. You have to remove these 2 for the shock, and then the brake line, and then you will be able to get the spring out. Now, this is the source of our problems. This is off of a coilover kit, not to the iBox sport lines. So this is just when you ride. So you're able to get one out, and then this is all screwed up. This is not how this goes. Okay, so we ordered these new rubber pieces. You don't need to, but my car was missing them, and I'd probably recommend doing them anyways. But this is your rear spring, and this is your front spring. And then this rubber piece will slide on, and then this one will lock into place like this. And this is the bottom, and then this is the top. So let's finish up this side. Alright, so I apologize for the train in the background, but if you are doing lowering springs on your car and you have a custom exhaust, you're probably going to have to take at least the exhaust hangers off in the back and have it enough room to sag, because your subframe is going to hit on the exhaust, and you need enough room for it to drop. So I'll show you what we did. So we followed all the instructions dropping the subframe, and we needed about another 2 inches to get it to clear. And I saw that other people had the same problem. So they said it was either the sway bar or the exhaust. So we started with the exhaust. And so I have a Valvetronic custom exhaust on this car with 3-inch pipe. So we're running into an issue here where it's hitting. But up top, we took that exhaust hanger off. And we took the exhaust hanger on top of the diff, and we were able to get just enough room to squeeze this one in there. So now it's ready to put it back together. Got one side done, and now we gotta finish the other side, and we gotta jump to the front. Not gonna lie, having to take the exhaust off, this job's taking longer and has sucked a lot more than it should. Yeah, it's supposed to be pretty simple, but we had to take the exhaust off to get a little bit more clearance and be able to squeeze that one in there. So, but everything's torqued back down, and let's move on to the next side. Okay, so we're going to start by taking the shock off, and then we'll pull this brake line cable off, and then we'll jump to this bracket for the subframe, and then we'll eventually drop the subframe and get to the spring. So let's do that. Okay, at the top, these shock bolts are 19mm. Alright, we're going to move to this bracket that holds the subframe together. This is a 13mm. There is 2 bolts in the front to hold it on there, and then there is a 21mm that holds the subframe in the front and the back. So let's do that. Now we got those 2 off. We'll take these two 21 mils and we're gonna drop the subframe. Oh. There's always that one bolt that just wants to fight you, and one subframe bolt is not coming off. I got one off with the impact, the other one not work. Tried using a breaker bar, and yeah, it wasn't enough. So we got reinforcements. Pray for me on this one. But if something happens, I'll have it on video. We got it moving. Let's try using the impact. So now we got the subframe lowered all the way. These springs don't fit in the car, so this one's about to come out already. So this one should be easy getting out. The hard part is getting the new one back in, so I'll show you real quick. So you can see this coilover kit, not even, I mean look, it just, that easy. So I'm gonna put this down real quick. Never mind, there we go. Yep, second spring out. Now it's for the fun part, getting the new one back in. So I'll clean that out before I put the new rubber pieces in. So this is what the right rubber piece looks like. So your end of the coil will come in here and lock down in the bottom. This was what was on my car. Whatever this is. It's like they cut it, try to make the car be as low as possible. Which it was low, but it rattled and was clunking constantly. And we got to a point where one spring was binding and one spring was like freely spinning in the back, but your springs aren't supposed to spin. With the just jacked up, it would spin. So we ran into that issue, and bought these new rubber bushings, so now we can spin this one. We're gonna clean it off real good because we are not planning to touch these ever again. So let's do that real quick. So I'll just go ahead and show you this. I don't even know if you can see me, but get this part of the coil. This is the top, and then this. You kind of just walk it on, start spinning it. It'll get into a groove, and then it will lock into place. So this is the top, and then this will go in the subframe itself. There'll be a little step on the subframe that this part goes right here, and then you'll set that in, and then you'll twist this into place. So we'll get over to the car and I'll show you. Alright, so we're going to install this part first. Let's see if I can't show you real quick. I don't know if you'll be able to see, but right here, if we'll focus, you can't see it. Yeah, here you can. Right here's a little notch, and that is where this piece will sit in, and then you'll twist the spring into that part right there, and they'll be locked in. Install this part first. Put that in, twist it until it gets in place, and then it's time for the spring. So this is the tricky part. There's a lot more stuff on this side, and it does help to have somebody sit or step down on the rotor and push it down so you can get enough room in to squeeze it. But we're going to try to get it at least started. So. Okay, we're running into a little bit of issue with the sway bar in link. It's kind of in my way, so hopefully we don't have to take the sway bar off. If we do, we do. We've already had to take the exhaust hangers off. See, I'll show you what the problem is. So the problem's right here. You have to pull this down enough to be able to fit your spring inside of that, so it'll slip in right here. But the problem is, where we're at right now, we are hitting sway bar link. So I'm gonna look a little bit off camera and I'll get back to you. Alright, so as you can see, my exhaust is hitting here. So we went ahead and took rear hangers off. So I got my exhaust drooping quite a bit, and still running into this here with the sway bar. We may take the shock out. There's only 2 bolts, and see if we got enough room. We can't get it in now. So we were able to get enough room. It'll go right back in. So let's jack it up. Okay, so we've just been walking the jacks in there. I got one on the diff, and then I got one on the subframe pushing it up. So the shock's not lining up, but when we suck up the subframe, it should be good to go. So we're just gonna slowly walk in the subframe until we get close. When we get these 2 bolts on the bracket, then we'll suck the bracket up and then we'll lock it down. So these aren't wanting to line up great, so we're gonna walk it in with the ratchet. Don't want to risk it. What is up? We are back, and today we're gonna finish up doing the fronts. I took a little bit of time off after doing the rears, and just took a day off. So we're gonna jack the car up, and then we're gonna take the front shocks off. I honestly may call a shop and see if they got a spring compressor and just change the springs on the shocks for me, and I stick them back in there. Because honestly, I just don't want to deal with it. So if it's cheap enough, we're just gonna do that. So stay tuned. So here we have it after the front's done. To be honest, I did a horrible job filming the front. It just sucked, and I was tired. I was just ready to get it done. But here you go. So, went pretty straightforward. It's nothing too crazy. It was just annoying. The car will settle in more, but that's how it looks for now. So I actually left the rotor on when I did the front, and I just took the struts to a shop and had them do it, because honestly I didn't want to do it, number one, and number two, my spring compressor didn't want to grab on, and I just didn't want to play that game. So I had them do it this morning, and then I slapped them on. Would have taken me about an hour to do the front, but I need to go borrow a torque wrench, so that went higher than mine, so I went and did that. But car's done now, so we'll hit some B-roll.